This is the Coleman 4-person instant camping tent. After spending some time with it, I thought it might be helpful to share what I've noticed so far. My main reason for getting this tent was simple. I wanted something I could set up when I'm tired, when it's getting dark, or when the weather's turning, without doing the whole, where are the poles, which sleeve is this, why is this bent routine. And that's basically what this tent is about. The poles are already attached, so setup is more like unfolding a frame and extending it until it locks. The first time I did it, I still took a minute to understand how the legs want to sit, but after that, it got very straightforward. I'm not timing it with a stopwatch every trip, but about a minute feels real if the ground is reasonably flat and you're not fighting wind. The size has been good for the way I actually camp. It's listed as a 4-person with an 8 by 7 foot floor, and I describe it like this: 2 people plus gear feels comfortable. 3 people is doable if you're organized and not bringing a bunch of bulky stuff inside. 4 people, yeah, you can fit 4 sleeping bags, but it turns into a floor full of bodies and not much else. I tested it with a queen air mattress, and that works like they say. There's room around it for shoes and a couple bags, but you're not getting a ton of walk-around space once the mattress is in. The cabin shape is the part I noticed right away compared to dome tents I've used. The walls feel more vertical, so the space feels more usable along the edges. I don't feel like I'm constantly brushing fabric with my shoulders when I sit up. The height is listed around 4 feet, and that matches how it feels. I can't stand up in it, but I can sit up easily and change clothes without doing the weird crouch roll thing I've had to do in smaller dome tents. If you're used to those taller cabin tents where you can fully stand, this one isn't that. On weather, my experience has been mostly fine, with a couple notes I wish someone had told me clearly. It comes with a rain fly, and it's integrated and vented, so you don't have to mess with a separate full fly setup. In light rain and the kind of on and off drizzle you get on weekend trips, it kept things dry for me, and the floor design helps a lot, because it feels like a bathtub-style floor that doesn't let small puddles creep in. I've had cheaper tents where water finds its way through the corners or seams near the floor, and I haven't had that problem here. Where I'd still be cautious is heavy rain with wind that pushes water sideways. This tent isn't the kind with a big outer shell that hangs low all around, so if you're camping somewhere that gets real storms, I'd take extra care with site selection and staking, and I personally consider seam sealing if you want more peace of mind. I'm not saying it leaks all the time. I'm saying it's not the tent I'd bring if the forecast looked ugly for 3 days straight and I had no backup. Wind is similar. The frame feels solid once it's up, but the straighter walls catch wind more than a low dome tent. When I had it in gusty conditions, the difference between this is fine and this feels sketchy was whether I actually staked it properly and used the guy lines. If you're the type who tosses a tent up and doesn't stake because it's just one night, this is one where I wouldn't skip that step. Ventilation has been better than I expected. There are large windows and the vented fly, so on warm nights, it doesn't feel like a sealed plastic bag. Condensation still happens because it's a tent, especially if it's humid or you've got 2 people breathing in there all night, but I've had worse. I crack the windows depending on bugs and temperature. One thing I worried about before buying was durability, because anything with a built-in frame feels like it could be fragile at the joints. Over time, what I've learned is that it's less about the materials feeling flimsy and more about being careful during setup and takedown. If you twist the frame while it's half extended, you can tell it doesn't love that. When I slow down and extend the legs evenly, it feels fine. I haven't broken anything, but I can see how someone rushing or forcing it could damage a joint. The weight and pack size are real. It's around 19 pounds, and the bag is long, like almost 40 inches. This is not a throw-it-in-a-backpack tent, it's a car camping tent. Carrying it from the car to the campsite is fine, but if your campsite involves a long walk, I'd pick something else. Packing it back up is also a thing. Setup is easy. Folding it down neatly enough to fit back into the carry bag takes a little practice. The bag is expandable, which helps, but I still have to push air out, fold it with some intention, and take my time. If you're someone who wants teardown to be as effortless as setup, it's not always that smooth, especially if you're trying to pack up fast in the morning. Compared to traditional pole tents I've used, the trade-off is pretty clear. The regular tents pack smaller and lighter, and they can handle wind a little better because of the shape. This one saves me time and frustration at the campsite, and the inside feels more like an actual little room. For quick weekend trips, late arrivals, camping with kids, or anyone who just doesn't want to wrestle with poles, I get why people like it. So who is it actually good for? I think it's great for casual car camping, state parks, family trips, backyard camping, and anyone who wants the tent part to be the easy part. If you're planning on hiking in, camping above tree line, or you expect serious weather and want a full coverage storm setup, I'd personally look at different styles. If you're on the fence, the question I'd ask yourself is whether you care more about fast setup and usable interior space, or smaller pack size and better wind profile. For me, on the trips I actually do, the fast setup has been worth it. I will leave all the information about the Coleman 4-person instant camping tent in the comments. I hope to see you again in the following videos.